Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday, the 18th of January, and in my last video, I discussed and told you about Harry and Meghan wanting to pay for their security when they come over, or if they come over to the UK. Now, if you haven't seen it already, I've popped a link up in the right-hand corner. Go and click on it, because I'm going to be discussing in a little bit more detail what has transpired since and my thoughts on why this is happening. There has been a massive fallout with regards to Harry arrogantly taking the Home Office, i.e. our British government, to court, or threatening to go to court, because he wants to purchase the Met Police for security. Now, as I explained in my previous video, the Met Police are not for sale. They're never for sale. You can't just simply rock up to the UK and book them. If that was the case, any celebrity of any worth could simply hire our own very highly skilled, trained and armed Met Police for hire. It's not possible. And if the Home Office was to give in to Harry's demands, then it would lead us into very dangerous territory and set precedent for any celebrity to come into the UK and simply just say, well, I'm going to book the Met Police for my security. It's not that he can't have security, and the Sugars, unfortunately, are screaming, oh my God, the royal family won't let them have security. It's not the case at all. They are more than welcome to come over and book security. That's not up for debate. They can even book ex-police officers, ex-Met officers, and ex-Royal Protection officers, should they so wish. And Charles did this very thing for Camilla before he married her. He hired ex-Met Office police officers to provide security for her. Now, Omid Scooby has raised his head and started the fight. And it really is appalling what he's actually done, because he's not done his due diligence. He tweeted yesterday, throwback. In May 2002, The Guardian carried a report claiming that Prince Charles privately paid for 2 full-time police protection officers for his then long-term mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles. A palace spokesman called it a private matter. I've got several issues with this particular tweet. Using the word mistress, long-term mistress, it's a very barbed way of doing it, and it's throwing major shade, and I didn't like that. And he's also very wrong. Yes, Charles paid for 2 police protection officers. They were not full-time. They were ex-serving police officers. So that means they were no longer in the Met, and they were there providing security. They were no longer being paid by the Met Police. So he's basically trying to bait people and stir up controversial issues, like he always does. And I say that's really bad form. Now, they probably could say that about me, but I've always prided myself on trying to give the facts, and I often play devil's advocate. But the fact of the matter is that Charles hired retired ex-police officers. He paid out of his own pocket, and they were not working police officers. They were ex-police officers. I'd also like to point out that Princess Anne doesn't get full-time security, and her protection officer was shot in the 1970s. Now, I think there are 2 main reasons why Harry has issued this legal action threat. The first issue is this thing surrounding the internationally protected person. He believes it was, and I mentioned this previous in my other video, he believes that him and Meghan, as part of the royal family, even though that they are no longer a working royal, fall under the umbrella of an internationally protected person. Internationally protected people get their security paid for by the country that they are visiting. Now, who gets this internationally protected person status is a little bit woolly. Basically, it boils down to, this is what a protected person means. The Protection of Diplomat Convention is a United Nations anti-terrorism treaty that codifies some of the traditional principles on the necessity of protecting diplomats. Under this convention, the people that are generally protected are heads of state, heads of government, foreign ministers and ambassadors, and other official diplomats and members of their families. Now, generally speaking, this would have been explained all to Harry during the Sandringham summit. It's believed to have been made very plain and very simple during this summit to Harry that should he take the necessary steps that he wishes to leave the royal family as a working family member, he he will not enjoy the trappings of being protected as part of that bubble. He was explained all of this, and yet he still did it. And what's actually happened now is that he came back for Prince Philip's funeral, received the protection because the funeral was deemed as a target or a threat. So he received the Royal Protection Officer's security. When he came back for the Diana unveiling, though, this wasn't on behalf of the royal family like the funeral was. It was his own event. So he naturally did not get protection. And this is where it's thought that he threw the toys out the pram and then applied for this court action against the Home Office, i.e. the UK government. Now, what I need to make very, very clear is that the Queen is not able to interfere in security decisions which are made by the British government. No matter how much she wants to, she cannot get involved. But I believe Harry is going for this internationally protected person status. And if he gets that, he will be granted full security in any country he visits, and the security costs will be paid for by that country he's visiting. The second reason I think this is being done is it's transpired by saying, if we don't get the security we demand, I will not bring our children over to the UK. End of. So that is what's known as emotional blackmail. It's very cruel because the Queen's hands are literally tied on this matter. So he's saying, we're not going to come over if we don't get what we want, so therefore you can't see Archie and Lilibet. He knows very well that the Queen can't travel. She's 95 years of age. She's not going to travel over to America. So the only hope that she ever has of seeing Archie and Lilibet is if Harry and or Meghan brings the children over. But he's categorically stated that that's not going to happen if he doesn't receive the same level of security that other working royal family members receive. This is a very interesting tactic because what he's effectively done is making demands and emotionally blackmailing and asking for something that the Queen is unable to give makes them look like the victims, makes them or the world go, oh my God, the royal family won't pay for their security, won't allow them, oh my God, they're monsters. When in fact, their hands are completely tied. And what annoys me the most is that Harry must know this. He was explained all of this, yet he's still going against the government and demanding this protection. It's quite simple. Can you hire the FBI? Can you literally rock up to America and go, I want to be protected by the FBI, please? No, you can't. If you're deemed as a threat, they will step in. And very much like the Met Police, if there is a threat or deemed as a threat, if they receive intelligence of something that's going to happen, do you really think that they wouldn't step in and share their intelligence with Harry and his security team? No, of course not. They will do everything in their power to stop that. But they can't just hire Met Police. Very much like you can't hire the FBI. It's just not possible. Dan Wootton wrote a piece for the Daily Mail which was titled Harry's demands for police protection show he is regretting quitting the royals already, but using his children to emotionally blackmail his grandmother is beyond despicable. While I agree with him that the emotional blackmail issue is despicable, yes, he knows exactly what he's doing, I don't think he's regretting it one bit. I think the money is probably running a bit low, they've not got enough money coming in, or the money that they expected to be rolling in. But I don't think he's regretting it. I just think he's didn't listen, didn't care, and now it's the consequences of his actions. By doing this, he is effectively saying, unless you give us the security we demand, we want the same as any other royal family member, we will not step foot in the UK, and neither will the children. This then gives Meghan Markle the perfect excuse to play the victim, and Harry, of course, by proxy, yet again on worldwide stage. It's another tool that they can use to take down or blast the monarchy and make them look like the villains that they loved to do. It's what's known as a double bluff. They say something, they mean something else, but they also know the consequences of that action that they take will make them look like the victims and the royal family look like the villains. Now, the majority of people in the UK get the fact that the Met Office is not for hire. And with the state of our police force at the moment, a lot of people would be outraged if they were for hire because they're so thin on the ground. Our police officers, our police services are just at crippling point at the moment. So a lot of people would be up in arms if they were for hire for Harry. So that is one positive thing to come out of this. More and more people are sort of waking up and going, hey, hang on a minute, they're not for sale. But to other countries, it may seem like this tactic that they've played makes the royal family look like the villains. And that's a very, very dangerous thing for them to do. And I believe they knew exactly what they're doing. Harry knew exactly that he was not going to be able to hire the Met police officers at all. I don't understand why he's even done this. It's just a cruel attempt to make his own family look bad yet again. I think it's very callous. Other celebrities manage to come to the UK with no security issues whatsoever. What makes Harry and Meghan different? Nothing, except their egos. I think partly also they want the full motorcade going through the city. They want the blue flashing lights. They want the traffic to be stopped. All because of them. Egos again, isn't it? Anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think I've got it right? Do you think that Harry knows that this isn't going to happen? Knows that this isn't viable to hire the Met Police, and it's just a tactic to make his family look bad and give an excuse for them never to bring the children over, weaponising their children, which is an extremely low blow indeed. So I would love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think Harry knew exactly what he was doing? Do you think he's just being an arrogant sod? Do you think it's all a ploy never to bring the children to the UK? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.